Today we're going to bring to you the good, the bad, and the bunny.
We're going to talk all about what we think is the best bunny to go in your kids' Easter basket this year. The pattern we're talking about is the Baby Bunnies in Overalls by Loretta's Loops on Etsy. We've made 3 of these super cute bunnies in all sorts of different outfits.
This pattern has all kinds of outfits, modifications, and accessories that your kids will love to play with.
The first bunny I made from this pattern was this adorable strawberry bunny. I thought that if I made the bunny with sparkle yarn that it would be really fun, and I wasn't wrong, I would say.
And you didn't make it with the frog hat. You used one of the modifications using the strawberry.
Yeah, so I've got a sparkling strawberry bunny because her outfit is also made with Juicy Couture sparkle yarn. And she's made with the Bernat Baby Blanket sparkle yarn in the moon, whatever the moonstruck or whatever moonstone color is. I call her my sparkling strawberry bunny. When I was making this pattern, I thought it was really interesting because I made the legs first and then the body gets made, and then you put the arms and the head on separately, and you don't put the ears on until the very end. So it kind of throws you off because you've got this little figure that looks like a Pillsbury Doughboy, right? I remember I was making this here at my mom's house and I showed her and I was like, this is literally the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. And I think that's why we titled this video, The Good, the Bad, and the Bunny. It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly, because the entire time you're crocheting this little bunny, it looks ugly until the very end. Because I'm like, am I making this right? This just seems weird.
Right. When you're making the head, where it tells you to put the eyes looks really low and really bizarre, and you are questioning the whole time, is this right?
Right.
Because it just looks strange until you put it onto the body and then you realize, oh yeah, it's definitely the right spot.
But for this bunny, you embroidered the eyes, and your embroidered eyes actually are a bit higher than where they tell you to place the safety eyes. If you compare right here, these safety eyes are down low, and it looks to me like you went for where the safety eyes would be, but then you went higher.
Up. Yeah.
So that's why I love this bunny. I love those eyes, and I just love how she looks. And to me, it looks more like a real normal face. This bunny's eyes looks more like the Japanese kawaii cutie items, which is adorable. But I hadn't made anything with the eyes so super low like this before, and I was like, wasn't sure it was right.
Right. Yeah, I think I did make this one also with I made it with the larger safety eyes.
You used larger safety eyes, and you attached them up higher.
I did I?
You did.
Okay, I might just have a thing for slightly higher eyes too.
Yes.
This was the second bunny I made, and I made this one out of Big Twist Posh. And she is significantly smaller than this other bunny. And I'm pretty sure that I used the exact same crochet hook. Maybe it was a size smaller. It's been a few weeks since I made these, so I can't recall exactly for sure. But I used a much smaller crochet hook than I typically would for Bernat Blanket with the big bunny. Felt like a little bit of a struggle the whole time because it was giant, unwieldy yarn and a very small hook. But it turned out, I'm not mad. I do feel like it's a little stiff. That's been like my only complaint, is that I feel like my ears are a little stiff, but I think it's still really cute, even if the ears have some volume.
Yeah.
And this bunny turned out a lot better. And I knew this time around a little bit better how to do it since this one was my test subject.
Right. And I think the first time you make any amigurumi item, your first one is always going to be not perfect because you're figuring things out.
Right, there's a lot of figuring out to do typically.
Right. And so this is the bunny that I made. I made this bunny after you made your 2 bunnies. So I had kind of at least something to look at, to go off of. And I used the Premier Parfait Chunky, and this is the dusty mauve color. And I used a size 5 crochet hook. I think it turned out cute.
Yeah, I think your ears are slightly more malleable than either of mine are, which is nice.
And they would be even better, except that I skipped 3 rows because I got distracted in my pattern. And then I didn't realize it till I was making my second ear. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't do that on the first ear. And then I'm like, counted my rows. I'm like, oh,
oops,
I goofed. And, you know, to give you encouragement is we all make mistakes. Like, it's inevitable that we make mistakes, and yet it still turned out cute. No one would know. It's not the way.
Clue.
I didn't tell her. And it just, so my ears are shorter than her ears, but it's okay. They still look like rabbit ears, and
yeah,
it's really cute.
I think they're really, really cute. And I honestly, I like them slightly better than how mine turned out. So,
And then my little girl, Bunny, here is dressed in a dress that is not part of the pattern. So I decided I wanted her to have a little flowery dress on, and I saw how Chelsea's overalls were, so I just decided I was going to make a dress instead of overalls. So I started with a chain across right here at the top and went, I did 2 rows, and then I just crocheted until it went all the way around the bunny and attached over here, and then I just single crocheted all the way around again. And then after that, I put 2 single crochets in each stitch and went all the way around again. And then I single crocheted all the way around again. And then I decided it looked like it was long enough. It had a bit of a flare to it, and I thought it was cute, but it wasn't quite finished. So I decided to add this little scallop. So from where I finished my last row, I skipped a stitch and I half double crocheted in the second stitch away, and I did 5 of them, and then I slip stitched from that where I half double crocheted into. I skipped a stitch in and then slip stitched in, and I did that all the way around, and it happened to work out perfectly, which that
never happens.
Rarely ever happens. I would have figured something out to make it look finished. And then I had this whole piece constructed, but there was no strap across the top. So I just rehooked to the top here and chained and slip stitched into the back in the center, and then chained and slip stitched to the top here. And it looks cute. So, I mean, I tell you that just so that you can be inspired. There's really no pattern for it, because depending on the size that your bunny ends up, depends on the yarn and your tension and what hook size you use. And so you can create an outfit for your bunny that is just will fit your bunny.
Yeah, and even in the pattern, she says it really depends on what size bunny, how your bunny turns out, how many stitches you're going to need, and how many rows you're going to need for your bunny's clothes, because it just really depends on who you are as a crocheter.
Right.
So she gives guidance on how to make modifications to fit your bunny, and suggests using a thinner or thicker yarn and whatnot for the size of your bunny.
And then I didn't make a hat. I didn't want to make a hat, so oh,
it's not king this time.
It's not king. Come on in. We have puppies that want to be with their family.
Hello.
Hey, Narvi. All right, so I didn't want to make a hat, so I crocheted a little flower and I just attached it right up here by the ears. Now, the reason why I think, especially being a grandma, that this is the bunny for your Easter basket this year. The reason that I say that is because of all these accessories. So Chelsea's little strawberry bunny has this strawberry hat. It has a strawberry purse, or it could be a bag, or it could just be strawberries.
Right.
And the overalls. You can also make the frog hat, which I think the frog hat is super cute. I love the frog hat. and the frog overalls. So you can make all different kinds of clothes for these bunnies, which I think is adorable. You could make some flowers if you wanted to that could attach to a hat, or put it on a band that could go on an ear. And then she also has these cute little carrots.
They're so adorable.
My granddaughter Willow was with me when I made this first carrot, and I'm like, that one didn't turn out quite right. She's like, it looks like a radish, Grandma. So you could make these with red too, and make some radishes, because bunnies like to eat more than just carrots in the garden.
It looks like a wonky home gardened carrot.
Yeah. Well, and the reason this one turned out really strange was because I didn't keep the curl on the right way, with the right side.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to turn it right after that. So when I made these other ones, I made sure to keep the curvature, the right side on the outside, because they're so narrow and so skinny, they're hard to turn. Pro tip right there. The thing that I would do is making these, I think that these would be great as an educational tool, because you can do counting. Like, let's say you make a dozen, a whole bunch of carrots.
That's cute. I like that idea.
And I think if your daughter, the youngest daughter is 2, she's going to be 3.
Yeah.
In the summertime, and she loves everything mini.
She's always walking around our house, and when we leave our house, she's got 2 or 3 little mini figures that she can hold in her hands, and they just go everywhere with her.
And she comes to my house, and then she's got all these little barn creatures and stuff, because we have a little farm animals, and she's carrying all of them everywhere she goes. Like, she just loves all the mini things, and that's one reason why I think that this would be really fun for kids in their Easter basket, is having all the little fun accessories, having the strawberries, having radishes and carrots, and it's just, the kids think it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being able to dress them in different outfits. Now I remember when you were little and you had Barbies. When you're 4 and 5 years old, you could take the outfits off, but you had a hard time putting them on. So adults may be required to help dress the bunnies. You might have to do it many times.
Especially if you're making the hats. I'll show you, because I want to show you how I did this frog. The ears are wider than the holes for the ears. So it does take a little bit of maneuvering.
Although it's coming on and off a little better now than when you first made it.
The more you do it, the easier it gets. The one thing I want to show you guys, I know in some of our other videos, we've had discussions about glue and our amigurumi. This pattern recommended taking a small amount of black felt and gluing it for the eyeballs. I didn't have black felt. I just used some black yarn, and I embroidered the eyes. And then I took my yarn and I kind of dug it down in to the inside of the hat and knotted it, because I didn't want to have to deal with doing anything more than that, and I wanted it to be secure. I really didn't want it to fall apart, and I don't want to hide my ends either, because I feel like with the black yarn against this electric green yarn,
there's no way to hide it.
It's just, it might not look pretty. So,
and the other the plus is that you use the Posh Big Twist Posh, and that yarn does not unravel. It doesn't fall apart. It's a very stable yarn.
Really not going to fall apart, being knotted under here.
I would never feel comfortable doing that with the Premier Parfait chunky yarn.
Yeah, I would even go ahead and use like a cotton or an embroidery floss if you don't have a yarn that is not going to fall apart. But look, here's my little bunny without its hat. It's so cute.
And I do love these big ears. So they're nice and big at the bottom, and it just looks super cute.
It's such a fun bunny.
Yes.
I can't wait to make a couple more.
2 thumbs up, right?
Oh yeah.
For this baby bunny in overalls pattern by Loretta Loops. And we will link it down below so that you can find this pattern really easily. We also have another great idea for an Easter basket item.
Yeah, bee flockers. Pattern by Knots by Jack is another video we did of just a few weeks ago. And this pattern is completely no-sew. And if you make it in yellow, it looks just like a baby chick.
Yes.
And it only makes up in 20 minutes. It's the fastest instant gratification project I think that you could do.
I love it. And that gives you another Easter basket item.